let's look a little bit more at loops here and how we can use loops with functions and things. But we're going to start off with a real simple program that shows you, again, how to approach these sentinel variables, how to get out of loops. So this is going to be a very simple program. This program prints your favorite ice cream flavor. So answer equals, now this is going to be words because you're probably going to input vanilla or chocolate or mint chocolate chip or whatever you like. Enter your favorite flavor. And like I said, it's just input because we're looking for a string. So what we're going to do is, if answer does not equal nothing, in other words, if they don't just enter the enter, then the flavor is equal to answer. So if I enter chocolate, it's chocolate. If I enter mint, it's mint, or, cookie dough or whatever. Else, flavor equals vanilla. This way, let's look what it's doing. It's saying, if you enter a valid word, just make it flavor. But if you don't, if you just bump the enter button or you don't enter anything, it's going to, by default, make that variable vanilla. So there's no way that the person can blow up the program or blow up the program. Your favorite is print flavor, period, go you. Give them a little pat on the back there. So again, what they're doing here is you're checking for the answer, and no matter what, even if I hit the enter button, it should still work. We'll try it a couple of times. Okay, so strawberry. Favorite flavor is strawberry, go you. Yep. And now watch what happens if I hit enter. Oops, name vanilla is not defined. Okay, well, let's see what that is. No problem. We need to put this as a word. I think it's on my notes and I forgot to do that. My apologies. So if I hit enter, it'll say vanilla. Now you can put things that don't make sense. You could say my favorite flavor is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's still a string and still totally legal. Now this is a fun little program, but of course we want to do things a little bit more advanced. So this program does some physics, math. And don't worry if you don't understand all the math here. That's okay. We're going to just print a little table. So we're going to print a little table for folks. Print time, tab, position. Oh, and I should say that time will be in seconds. Position will be in meters. And speed will be meters per second. So think about if you were walking down the street. As the time increased, so would the meters increase, how far you walked, and we would see what your speed is. So let's see what's going to go on here. We're going to get a whole bunch of numbers here because we want to make sure we're using our functions the best we can. We don't want to just do them once. So we're going to be able to get 20 numbers here for I in range 21. P equals get position, and we'll send the time up. And no, we don't want to do I. We want to do time here. There we go. So time would be like at 0 seconds, at a later second. And the speed will be get speed at that particular time. And after we've done it, or rather as we're doing this, we're going to print the variable for time. Let's tab it over. The variable for position. Let's tab it over. And the variable for speed. The problem is we don't have any position or speed functions. So let's do get position. And that's going to be based on some variable, which is time that we're setting up there. So let's just call it x. Or better yet, let's call it t for time. So x is going to be equal to 4.9 times t squared. Like I said, don't worry about the math here because there's some physics involved. And let's round that number to 2 places. And you do need x equals round. We'll return x. So basically, we're just going to send the time up there and do some math and get it back. Then we've got to define get speed. Again, we'll call it t. And the speed, v, is going to be 9.8 times the time. And let's round it just so we don't get huge numbers. So what we're doing is, and here's where our functions are really helpful. We need to do this 20 times. Nobody in their right mind wants to type it 20 times. By using a function, we get to type it once. Now let's see if it works. Yep, it does. It gives us the time, position, and the speed. Now, it doesn't look very nice because the problem is once things get really long down here, it bumps it over. So we might have to use table formatting as we saw earlier in the course and go back and clean that up. But for testing purposes, just to make sure the math works, this is just fine. So we're using this definite loop. A for is a definite loop. We're only going to do it 20 times. We're not using a while loop, and we're going to do some math.